Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Today, I have my partner on the show with me. That's Brother Marcus Muhd. Brother Marcus Muhd, welcome to the show, brother.
Yes, sir.
Now, first of all, I gotta thank you, man, for the work you did on Black's Journey, and I appreciate the success that it's having, but I also appreciate the work and the contributions you made to the project.
Absolutely, brother. Congratulations on your release and the successes you have been having.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Now, in the mix of this success that I'm having, right, because we're getting ready to work on part 2, and so there's a lot of traveling that's going to be involved, and we shooting in different locations and whatnot, and what prompted me to do this show on the vaccine is one, now check this out. One, you had college students, right, who paid their money to be on the dorm for this fall semester of the new school year, and they were told after the money was paid that they could not come on campus and stay in the dorms unless they had the vaccination. And a lot of them were saying, well, hell, you all said this knowing that if you would have told us before, we probably would have transferred and went to a school that didn't make it a mandatory for us to have the vaccination, right? So it's leading me to believe, that they're trying to control the outcome of the vaccination by saying everyone in America will be vaccinated if you want to be a part of certain institutions, and we want to see your card and you don't have a say about it. Would that be considered as taking away some freedoms?
Absolutely.
And once we go down that path, then there'll be other freedoms that will be snatched away from you. They're already trying to snatch the vote away from you. Hell, I mean, even if you are for the vaccination, do you believe that people should fight for the right for those who don't want to take the vaccination?
Well, yes, to answer your question, yes. And the reason I say yes is because if you stand by on the sideline and watch how this game is played and not get in the game, participate in some sort of way on what you believe or what you don't believe, then you will lose. You can't win being on the sideline. And like you say, your freedom, once one freedom gets taken from you, it sets precedent to attack your other freedom. Once they get that other freedom, that's more precedent to keep attacking more freedoms. And I'm not a big gun rights advocate, but I do understand their argument. Now, whether their argument is best or if it's right or wrong or if it will win or won't win, that's up to the society. But if certain rights are taken from you without the society having a say-so in it, then it's just setting precedent after precedent after precedent. Next thing you know, you got a microchip in your hand.
Oh, man, I'm glad you said that, because that will lead us into the next phase of the show as we come to the point of the microchip. Now, what I'm understanding is, and this is my personal reason why I'm not taking the vaccination, right? From my research, and maybe in those that's professionals that's out there listening, I know you all will address this on the evening news or whatnot, because I had several points been addressed on the evening news that was stated first on this show. But my thing is this: a vaccination will only fight one strand, and let's say you have COVID-19. So you have a vaccination that is for COVID-19. Wait a minute, here's the Delta popped up. You would need a booster or another vaccination to fight the Delta. Now they got this third strand that they're talking about. I don't recall the name. But when that one pops up, you would need another vaccination to deal with that one. So all these different strands and all these different type of vaccinations going into your body has to alter your chemical compound or you as an individual when you pumped up with so much vaccinations or chemicals within your body, is my firm belief, and I'm not sure, but I don't know. What do you think about that, Brother Moore?
But then you get all these chemicals and then run to church and sing about how you have a form of God and you're a child of God, but yet you're denying his power. If you are that, then what's wrong with you just being a person with common sense, taking a step back, look at the situation? If they gave you shots and they keep trying to enforce everybody, and they don't mince their words, we want everybody to get a shot in the arm. If they doing that, and if they want to do that, yet it's not working, why would you want to keep doing it? Why would you want to do it in the first place? I don't know, but that's everybody's choice and stuff. But now you see with your own eyes that the vaccine is not working. Now, why would you continue to be an advocate of a vaccine instead of being an advocate of nutrition?
Right.
Of vitamin D.
Right.
Of what your body really needs, because it's what it started with. Give your body what it already is, more so than what you have. When you was tearing down the streets before COVID hit, you were not providing your body with what it needs to fight off foreign elements going into it.
Right.
Now you're susceptible to a virus. When people with common sense are looking at it like, man, hold on. This guy over here is saying, get these chemicals, get these chemicals, get these chemicals. And he is not God. He is a half-wit scientist that allowed AIDS to run rampant in the society. And now it went from a gay white man's disease to a black female's disease. But yet they're successful with ridding everybody with SARS, AIDS, deficient immune system. So why is so-and-so over there God, and everything he says is gold, and you run with it? And then when you don't, the first thing they do is blame you for not taking a vaccine. This is common sense. If you got a vaccine shot, why are you worried about somebody who doesn't?
Right. Right. You good. Yeah, it's going to protect you, so why are you worried about those who don't? You okay.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
That's what a vaccine does, right? It vaccinates you.
Right.
It gives you immunity
That's right.
from the disease. Why are you worried about everybody else that don't want the vaccine then? If you straight.
Right.
Why you still got to wear a mask? Why they telling you still wear a mask?
Yeah, but you got the vaccine.
But you got the vaccine.
Yeah. Then they say, okay, well, you got the vaccine. You still can catch COVID, but you won't have a severe reaction to it as if someone who hasn't had the vaccine. Well, what's the degree or level of severe you talking about? You know what I mean? Would I have lifelong complications? You know.
And how do they know? They don't know. It's still a novel virus. You notice they stopped saying novel because they want you to think they mastered it with this shot. Johnson & Johnson even got people coming up dead.
Right.
They haven't mastered this thing because they didn't make it, from what I've been taught. They were not the creator. I came out like Wuhan. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right.
That dude and that money in Wuhan, bam, society control. Because they are known for it.
Exactly. Well, I did a show on that biological plant in Wuhan a while back, and where the virus is supposed to had been taken out of the laboratory, and he was supposed to meet a guy from the guy from America was flying in, but he had got picked up at the airport, and somehow the virus got out the vial, and the other day President Biden stated that there's credible evidence into that theory on it being leaked out of the laboratory. So if it was a man-made virus and you have a man-made vaccine, then of course there'll be error in what man creates, but what God creates, there's no error. Is not finite, is infinite.
No. Satan plans and the God plans. And God is the best of planners.
All right. So, I'm just simply saying, so with all the evidence that's out there, are they saying that the American people is not smart enough to enter into critical thinking to where they can make the best decision for themselves and their family, that the government has to make that decision for them?
I'm glad you said that, brother, because it's really the bottom line. They know that people are not sophisticated enough in the mind and don't have enough smarts to think this thing out and don't want to. They don't even have a desire to put their mind to work on this thing and then make moves accordingly. They know this. When you tell somebody a bold-faced lie, if you're a liar, you hope that they believe it.
Right.
But if you tell a bold-faced lie to a person that you know is a fool, then you know it's going to work. But if you tell a bold-faced lie to somebody who's wise enough to know that you just telling a damn lie, it's an insult. Right. And the people are not going to come out just insulting the taxpayers like that because they want their jobs. But they got a whole media push behind this thing. It's like nobody has a contrary expression about this thing. Everything you see and hear is pro-vaccine. Why? We don't have anybody that don't believe in the vaccine. I mean, with science behind it, not just somebody that they make look like Huck Finn stupid. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
No, I ain't taking the virus. I just don't want it. I don't want. We see these people all the time. I'm talking about somebody who got some mathematics behind what they say and say, this is why the damn thing ain't gonna work.
Right.
And how about this thing over here that does work? How come we don't never hear about that?
Right.
The safe one over there that people have used and have subdued this virus, how come we never hear about that method?
Correct. Yeah. It's funny, bro. It's do you think that when Trump ran against Hillary Clinton, right, and the country split damn near 50-50, has it been split 50-50 ever since? I mean, every issue is at war 50-50, because you got the southern states and people like, man, I'm not taking this vaccine. And you got the other half, get the vaccine. You got the other half with Trump. You got the other half with Biden. You got, America's just at odds right now.
Yeah. Trump is the great exploiter, He's the great divider. Because he come on the scene and he just stands where he is. And he don't play the political. And that's why he's going to always have fans, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's how he became president, is because he's just going to stand where he is and let the chips fall where they may. And there's certain people out there in the world that appreciate that, other than the lying, smiling politician. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So he comes in and he says, bam, this. And everybody who believe that this is their sentiment already. And the man just went up there and spoke it and won't step off it. So the country was already divided. He just exploited it and became president off of it.
Come on, it was already right. It was already there.
Yes, sir.
He pulled it to the surface.
Yes, sir. He was all ingrained into the system of the thing, into society, bro. You know, he just brought it out and gave it an expression, you know, and made it something that's acceptable in certain circles, and made it a part of society. Gave it a space, you know, gave it a seat at the table. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, he was already there.
What do you think that? Do you think that with the last election that he lost to Biden, and he started pursuing different states and different counties to recount the vote, do you think that stemmed this new voter law they trying to pass in Texas and the southern states, that arrived from him challenging the legitimacy of the presidential election process?
Yes, sir. He was already attacking it before he lost. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it increased because the more he saw himself having to actually compete, then he started throwing it out there a little bit more because he was giving himself an excuse, a way out, something for his followers to be able to cling on to just in case he lost.
Right. And
he was already doing it.
Right, but can you see how out of negativity and out of fear of losing created this whole campaign around voting that now has become reality in some states where they removing certain voter privileges, especially that's going to affect black and brown communities.
Yes, sir. And they say elections have consequences, right?
That's a fact.
This time the consequences is backlash, you know? Yeah. Instead of the winner issuing the consequences, the losers issuing consequences. But that's because there's so much more activity, so much more energy and hate in the wrong push in this society, in this country, that the people that have the right mentality, that have the right thing in mind, and are standing on the right side of things, are just, they feel like something going to just magically, I mean, it's spook God. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You spook God and I don't have a proper term, but it's not a belief, but a non-understanding of laziness, or a person that's unaware that they lazy. And the reason why I say that is because, okay, a lot of times we react to a situation, but the act has already taken place, and then we try to react to it versus preparing for it and have everything in place before the wave comes.
Talk about it, bro.
And I'm seeing this with this voter thing, right? Now, the smart thing is to do right now. You doing, if voting is your thing, you practicing voting right now. You making sure, let's say if you're a diabetic, and that's one reason why they took snacks and food out of line, because they felt that a lot of black and brown diets were so bad, and since we have one of the highest diabetic rates, they know that a diabetic can't stand too long, so they have to eat something. If they stand, they get tired, they need somewhere to sit down. So people would stand in line to get them water and get them little stacks or have some little candy, to keep so they can vote. So you need to practice, put something in your bag, your water, and handle it and be prepared before the time comes. That way you are already conditioned, to move on a certain motion, while you in line. You're already prepared for it.
See, you got to be a participant, brother. You got to participate. Ain't nobody, even if you don't believe in nothing Marcus Mudd ever say, or brother ever say, if you believe in democracy, it's not going to get handed to you.
Come on.
Even your forefathers, for the the forefathers of this country already done told you, I'm giving you democracy, but you got to participate. You got to do something with it. Can you keep it? I don't know. It's up to you. You got it. It's in your hands. But it don't work on its own.
Right. It don't work. You don't see. We never understood the proper tools to use or the proper weapons to use against a particular type of enemy. We thought that, okay, if we sing certain songs, that was gonna move him. And over time we realizing that don't work, Well, maybe if we march, he not even there, but over time we realize, okay, well maybe the march is not gonna get it either. So you need effective strategies, because it's 2021 and we still fighting voter issues, man. Something's not right. You know what I mean?
Well, bullies only bully people that they know they can bully, bro. And it'll be 25-25. As long as they keep getting away with it, they're going to keep playing the same. They're going to keep running the same play. Why change the play if it's still working?
It's still working. It's still working. When you trying to tell, right? Now, now, we're going to go a little deeper, bro. We got to, for the audience so they can understand. Because at one point, I separated gangster rap from conscious rap, and they were like, "Nah, brother, we can't do that. It's all the same. Okay, whatever." But let's take it from rap to ideologies. You have the civil rights ideology, and then you have the conscious ideology or Pan-Africanism, or what they call black nationalists, or whatever you want to call it. It's two different mindsets that needs to get on the same page. It was like when the church bombings took place in Alabama with the 4 little girls, and they asked Malcolm X, well, why didn't the FOI get involved and fight? And he was like, dealing with integration. And Malcolm was like, well, I'm not for integration. I'm for separation. So if we all on the same chord in separation, then we fighting for a cause that I believe in, but I don't believe we're getting nowhere with integration. Right. So in today's time, how can we merge the two mindsets that, because you have the civil rights Christians eras, although you do have some black power, I'd say, Christians, and then you got the Moors and you got the Muslims, and you with different ideologies on how to get things done. Do for self, create your own, protect what you create, brotherhood and whatnot. Can we merge them two ideologies?
Well, black people got to stop being so extreme about every damn thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be way on one side or way on the other side for black people. You talking about white supremacy, but you a black extremity. Everything. You can't balance. You can't have balance between the two and make the two work together. When you got a common goal, you bring everybody's point of view and perspective to the table, and come up with the best way to move at the time.
Right.
You don't discard what this man know just because it's not exactly what you. Nobody's exactly the same.
Right.
Come on, and then every move ain't gonna be exactly the same because time dictates motion in the movement.
Right.
So the man with the better move, you done told him not to come to the table because he don't talk exactly. He don't dress just like you.
Right.
That's ignorant. We need to get out of there, man.
Yeah.
And stop being such extremists. You know.
Right.
It's just imagine how we have been thrown stuff.
Right.
And we take the stuff and just go to the extreme with it.
You're right. And exactly. A wise enemy can see that and move right in and keep the division going.
Right. Because it's not conscious thinking and action. It's just however the wind blows. I'm going to get on the best gust and go way over there.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
No, brother, have a mind of your own.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that's that, man. That's that, in our subconscious mind, we always looked for a chief. But in this particular time that we're living in, you're going to have to gain knowledge for yourself if you're going to survive it.
Yes, sir.
Because reason being is because the wise enemy knows how to cut you off from the chief.
Right.
So you have to know the knowledge for yourself in order to pass it on and keep building.
Well, I got a news flash for black people, you know, and all people, not just black people. God don't want no dumb man or no dumb woman. He don't want you dumb. If you dumb, he don't want you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You catch a fish, and if it ain't the fish you want, you throw that fish back in the water. He don't want you if you're dumb. I'm telling you, he don't like dumb people.
Right.
Obviously, you know, listen to people who are always talking about where God at in the matter. Where God at? God ain't doing nothing. Ain't no God.
Yeah.
You know? Now, if God picked your hand up and did everything he wanted you to do with your hand, then what would be the purpose of you?
Right. How could you be the best expression of him?
Don't you have a will that he gave you? Isn't it free?
Yeah.
You want free will, but you want God to do everything. Which one is it?
Yeah.
God don't want no dumb people.
Man, well said, bro. Yes, sir. Facts. That's right. Yeah. How you gonna justify your existence if he got to come do everything for you?
Yeah. What's your purpose?
Yeah. What's your purpose? Yeah. Have none. Man. Yeah. And the reason why we did certain parts and certain shows on this is simply because what we want to do is we want to send a jolt of energy into the mind and in your brain to wake some up to realize the seriousness of the time that we're living in. Because if thought travels and we got enough intellectuals or smart people focusing on building a better society, then we can bring that into existence. But if you got a heavier percentage that's not, let's say, functioning literate, then you become a drain or a weight, and then you start seeing certain things that we're seeing coming into play now, dealing with droughts and these storms we having and heat waves, and because if your mind is focused on the betterment of the whole, then so many people, we will be coming up with solutions that's just and that will be effective versus certain places trying to figure out, well, what do we do now? When you got a mind and you got a brain. You know, and then if you're not studying, and if you don't have knowledge, then you got to turn around and look to your enemy for a solution. And if you come to him, he gonna give you something, but he gonna give you nothing at the same time. Oh, you want me to help you? Shit.
Yeah.
Here go, take this water, but I'm putting a little something in it, and in 5 years from now, when you sick and falling out, goddamn it.
Yeah. I've been waiting for you to come because I know you ain't got nothing in your head. You've been waiting for me to put some knowledge in your head.
Right.
I've been waiting on you.
That's right.
Yeah, but here you go. Take the little something, and then I know I'm going to lace it with something to because it's all about what I want. And what I want ain't no good.
Ain't no good. He like that. I'm not finna give you nothing to help you overthrow me. Is you crazy?
Hey, come on. That wouldn't be civilized.
Yeah, that wouldn't be civilized. For real.
Yeah.
You got that's part of the game, man. You gotta wake up to the game, where it's being played. It's crazy, bro. So we covered vaccination and we covered voting. I think we'll make that the title of this podcast: vaccination and voting, bro. Because and mainly it's the youth, the ones that's in elementary coming up to junior high, and we need their projection for the future, so they can it's like fishing, so they can throw their line out so far out in the ocean so they can catch big fish without them being discouraged, and they can only think block thinking, just what's on the block. We need them to have knowledge and information so they can think past the block and beyond. That way you truly are broadening your horizon. Now, before we get out of here, bro, what's your take? Now, they saying since COVID hit last year, the violence that's the reason why there's a uptick in violence all over. And I mean, even in Houston, man, they shooting in the Gallerias. What do you think is the cause of the violence? Just spreading and getting out of control.
Well, it's the simple frustration, brother. And lack of having provisions. And it's no secret that the uptick in violence in Houston, probably the whole state of Texas, is because we have an idiot as the governor.
Come on.
The government can't save us, first of all. Second of all, it is a provision for the time that we're living in. And if you have idiots and ignoramuses controlling the government, it don't matter what kind of government it is. You can put an a-hole at the head of Christianity or Islam or Judaism, and you got a fooled society. You got mass hysteria on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got a damn fool with a pen, and what he writes is backed up by law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
It is a law once he write it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he got it written, it's backed up by law enforcement. So now, people, like you say, people don't know. They won't seek knowledge. They need to seek knowledge. But since they don't have that higher learning, that higher thought process, first thing they do is act out and react. We got to get out of that. No matter who you are, you need to get some knowledge in your head.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to survive if you don't have a higher form of knowledge and viewpoint.
Right.
You have to be able to understand and discern what's going on so that you won't be a reactor and you'll be more of a responder if necessary. But in all cases, you are prepared.
Listen, that key word right there, man. You got to be prepared.
Right. If you're not prepared, something come along and you just lose it. And that's what people are doing on a mass scale. It's just people, I'm sure suicide is up.
Yeah.
It's just not a good situation, man.
Right.
And in order to survive, you have to be able to think your way out of it.
Right. That's the key. That's right. That's the key. You have to protect your mind in order to think your way out of a bad situation.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All the time, man. And that's been the formula since the beginning.
Since the beginning, bro.
All right. It ain't nothing. It's nothing new.
In the beginning, the God created himself first, but he went to war with the absolute nothingness in order to create himself, because there was nothing. There was no book that he could read and say, "Well, this is how I'm gonna create everything."
Right.
He had to go to war with nothing. And if you say you're a child of that, and when something come along, you crack up, you know.
It's, and you know what, man? Now you brought me on something else, brother. I'll get ready to close the show. We got to touch base on this point, right? You right, brother. You know what I noticed, bro? Okay, you know how when the Caucasian was coming into rule, and we started burning libraries and burying books, and gave him one book of mathematics so he wouldn't, learn from the other books that we had, right? It seemed like it's reversing today. Like he's burying knowledge and influential people who have the knowledge. He took Mr. Farrakhan off social media, so you can get that knowledge, even though people are still sharing it. But, he did that. The role of the black man, he's burying that. He's burying it and bringing in feminism to replace the strength of black manhood. I mean, all across, he buried knowledge in the music. Gotta get that out of here. And that's a sign of our rise. We getting ready to come up. So obviously he would bury the knowledge, you know what I mean, so he can stay in power longer.
He is in a rush. If nobody else knows that his time is up, he knows. He is in a rush. He is operating out of pure haste, brother. And when you see, I'm just going to say common citizens with a whole buku amount of money being exposed to NASA and what they know about going out into quote unquote outer space, as if the planet ain't already in outer space. But that's another topic. You know what I'm saying? But this came right after the UFO files were open. The Pentagon had to speak on and have a conference about the UFO files because they can't deny it no more.
Right.
That there's a higher intelligence up over their heads, just operating and doing whatever they want, and they can't stop it. So, like you said before, they kind of got to get ahead of the fact that there is a supreme knowledge out there, and so to make these guys look like they're astronauts, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to make you think that one day you're gonna be able to take a coach plane to the damn outer limits of the atmosphere and all that, Right. Come on, man. You subjected to Earth because you only had one book of mathematics to operate out of, and you tore that one up.
Right, come on. You say, why you tore that one up?
And then tore that one up. You know what I'm saying? So it's over for, so he can put gay men out there and he gonna make us, whoever witnessed this, think that that's status quo now.
Right.
Black men being gay is okay and it's every day. No, it's not. That's a lie.
Right. He burying the knowledge. Yeah, he's taking away what was known as strength. And
because he don't want to compete.
Right, he don't want to compete, man. Putting it, in everywhere. I mean, the whole, even certain narratives he's changing now the reason why certain things are the way that it is today. He's changing it, saying it's because of this. When we know when once upon a time it was because of that. Now he's changing everything, But what do we expect? Of course he's gonna do that because he is. Why. That's part of the game, man,
Hey, nowhere in history will you see the enemy just say, "Okay, all right, man, you got me." You know what I'm saying?
Real. Okay, you caught me red-handed. Here you go.
All right,
I'm gonna hand it over peacefully, right?
Yeah. The best we have was Nineveh and Jonah. When Jonah went to Nineveh and said, "Hey, man, y'all gonna have to just repent. This ain't the way it's supposed to be. Just repent, man. Get this right, man." Nineveh straightened up and had time.
Come on.
And was granted time and wasn't just destroyed. Everything, every other city, Babylon, Egypt, Rome, anyone you can think of was just D with a capital D, destroyed. In history, every last one of them in history. But yet they think some kind of way, somehow, that I'm just going to be able to fight this thing and keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like they say, the definition of insanity is to keep trying to do the same damn thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Right. Are you saying though that if they would use Nineveh as an example?
Oh man, that's how it worked, bro.
It's a way out this thing.
Oh, that's how it worked, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
100%.
Well, do we have it in him to do Nineveh?
I can't call him what he
or do the people
look like it.
Well, or do the people have it in them to have the energy to tell him, "Hey, you need to do like Nineveh and bag Nineveh"?
That's called speaking truth to power. I don't see it. I see some tails between the legs. That's all I see. Okay, we gonna be gay. Okay, we gonna bomb this country. Okay, we gonna steal that from that country. Okay, we gonna
and the people
act a damn fool.
And the people not standing up saying, "Hey, this is wrong. We need to repent. Look, let's do this." And they going along with it. Wow, bro. Wow, man. Wow. Now, when we do this show, Verb Pick Radio, it's strictly on a intellectual information and strictly on a truth-based show. So it's not going on trying to create or push an objective. The truth stands alone, and it is what it is.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So I just had to put that out there so people won't be like, "Oh, you trying to take gays? You trying to take?"
You're right.
Nah,
bro.
no.
I don't want to sound like I'm on your show trying to denigrate anybody that chooses to do whatever they want to do.
No, right.
Mathematics.
Right. Only mathematics because I see it too. I seen the difference. I knew something was wrong when they started putting gay black men in front of the TV. I said, "Then they trying to push an agenda. They finna use him. He probably don't even know he being used."
Man, I thought RuPaul's career was over with.
Yeah, what?
They pop up again 20 years later.
Yeah, shit.
But he must have had about 1,000. I ain't gonna, But he come up, pop up with
what?
He got a second and third win.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. So you couldn't find no other ones?
Right. They know.
The king. The queen, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever, but they know what they doing, and then look, check this out. They had people protest some idiot they had in a library. Nigga name was, excuse me, I'm sorry. His name was Booty, something, read to these little kids. The parents was like, niggas, you better not never read to get them, man. And then they jumped on the library for even hosting it. You know what I mean?
So you got to, man.
The parents was like, wait a minute, man. No, this too far. Now. And then the thing about it is, look here, man. Don't come around children like that. If that's your thing, they go take that over there where you at.
Yeah.
Don't try to influence these kids with that, man. Let them have their own mind.
Yeah, and you must be saying that to people who have been influenced by the great schemer. Because the great schemer he did it for a reason. He doing it.
Yeah, he do it for a reason. Yeah, he know what he doing.
Those who've been influenced and probably need a nudge back to the other side, that's who we talking to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It's why I mean it, because you gotta understand this. See, when you study, you know the moves of the enemy and how he plays the game. So you know why he do certain things, because in the end it's for his benefit, because he don't want the competition.
He don't want the competition.
And
he's used to everything being handed to him. And a lot of you all don't understand that, and don't understand that you being played and you being used. Right, because they're so used to succumbing to the fear. And I'm telling you, knowledge and the acquisition of knowledge removes fear.
Come on.
Because you know what you're looking at.
Come on.
Somebody can tell you that something is ferocious, but if you already know knowledge, know the ledge. If this thing can't harm you, then you don't have any reason to react out of fear. See how that works? Because just because of knowledge, just because you got some information,
come on,
it's powerful.
Powerful.
Try it.
That's right. Powerful. Good brother Mark. Man, I appreciate you being on the show. I know you got things in the works that you're working on. You can check him out on give him your web page, or give the people where you like for them to go check your content out.
atonepro.com. ATONEPRO.com. You can check me out.
There you go. Support. Bro Pick Radio, we out, and appreciate you, brother, for being on the show.
Thank you so for having me.
Yes, sir.